Episode 7 begins with Kurahashi's disappointment in Noa for failing to carry out her mission to eliminate Hiroto for her cunning ambitions, despite receiving assistance, even through illegal means. Due to her failure, she intends to make Noa her slave to do all her dirty work. Furious about her failure, Kurahashi shouted at Noa while awaiting her response. Noa, who is highly intelligent, initially acted scared, but when Hiroto burst into the headmaster's room, she immediately played her ace card, live streaming the scandalous case of the Sado Academy headmaster with the help of the editorial team from the Island Academy students. Kurahashi, taken aback, could do little and could only blame Hiroto for his actions, which tarnished her name and brought an end to Kurahashi's schemes. The last day of the Inter-Academy Elimination Game has arrived, and all IME Academy students have gathered in the auditorium for the announcement of the top 5 IME results, who will represent the Academy in the Inter-District Championship. However, before that, the head of IME makes an announcement regarding the exposure of the wrongdoing committed by the Sado Academy headmaster, which was broadcast via livestream. This news delights head of Academy Ishinas to the point of celebration, even to the point of getting drunk. According to her, despite Kurahashi's ordinary appearance, she is a manipulative fraud who can be ousted in a single night. Then comes the announcement of the results of the Inter-Academy competition, where only Hiroto and Noa remain standing. Ikanos, who has been eagerly anticipating their final match, forces Noa to take the initiative in starting a conversation. Noa requests permission not to fight Hiroto because she doesn't want to, having been aided by Kurahashi to become someone special in the eyes of the Academy. She also admits to using illegal abilities to defeat Hiroto. When he was about to continue his statement, Hiroto instructed Noa to stop. He believed that Noa didn't need to step back because all the mistakes originated from Kurahashi, and in the end, Hiroto didn't feel like he had lost anything. Noa, feeling like no one would forgive her actions, was shown the results of a survey where 99.5% believed Noa was innocent. Even the queen herself praised Noa. Because Noa was too caught up in her feelings, she didn't realize that she had already become someone special at IME Academy through her own efforts. Then Hiroto made a statement that he appointed Noa as the elimination champion and would become the ace of IME. Hiroto, who would withdraw from the championship because he had already become the strongest in IME, felt he didn't need to be the champion. He even apologized to his supporters who had cheered for him to become the champion because Hiroto appreciated Noa's efforts to become special at IME Academy. Noa, accepting the command to become IME's champion, would do her best to win the Inter-District Championship. Ikanos had a good feeling about it because the Inter-District tournament would be very interesting. The IME Academy team for the tournament was announced. First up was Himeji Shirayuki. Hiroto was impressed because she had risen to become a star 4 in just one day. Then there was one of the 3 star 6 students from IME, Asami Inanasha, followed by IME's star 6 student council president, Shinji Enomoto. Next was the strongest on the Island Academy with a star 7, Shinohara Hiroto, and IME's star 6 champion, Akazuki Noa. These were the 5 students who would form a team to represent IME. All IME students would wholeheartedly support them because they were one of the strongest teams on the Island Academy. Hiroto and Sarasa went somewhere during school holidays, but they disguised themselves to avoid suspicion from anyone there. Hiroto was curious why Sarasa had brought him to this place and why they had to disguise themselves. She explained that it was to keep her identity hidden, and when they arrived at the abilities store, Hiroto was surprised to see that entry required bringing a partner. Sarasa, blushing as she answered Hiroto's questions, said they needed to follow the store's rules. The store was recommended by Sarasa because the ability Hiroto had used when he was in a tight spot was being sold there. Sarasa couldn't enter the store alone, so by bringing Hiroto, she could easily gain access. Despite considering Hiroto her temporary boyfriend, Sarasa admitted it with embarrassment. Once inside the store, Sarasa searched for the store owner, who wasn't at the counter. When the owner appeared, they greeted Sarasa by a different name, Lily. Hiroto quickly realized that he couldn't use a different name as it would easily expose his identity. The owner would only sell their items to people they liked. However, they also had the right to choose who they liked to sell their items to. The store owner then asked if Hiroto was Sarasa's boyfriend. Lily blushed and only shortened Hiroto's name to Hiro, saying he was really cool. The store owner, well aware of Lily's difficulty in finding a boyfriend, was surprised that she had brought one now and was showing him off. However, it became suspicious because Sarasa and Hiro weren't holding hands despite being in a relationship. Realizing this, Hiro had to act quickly to convince Lily to do so. Due to Lily's awkwardness, the store owner reluctantly allowed them to make their purchase. Once they were back at Hiroto's house, he thanked Sarasa for taking him to the abilities store. Sarasa, aware that Hiroto lacked even basic knowledge like this, could only sigh. Then Himeji appeared to greet her master and childhood friend and asked if their date had been enjoyable. Sarasa denied it, explaining that she had only taken Hiroto along to shop for abilities. Himeji, knowing that they had gone to the abilities store that required bringing a partner, surprised them with how much information she had. No wonder Himeji was dubbed the maid with perfect specs. Then Himeji offered them the option of taking a bath or having a meal first. Since they'd been walking all day, they chose to take a bath first. School hours had come to an end, and Himeji immediately invited Hiroto to hold a strategy meeting with the other members. Hiroto, who had received a message from Noah, who was already heading to the meeting room, hurried to join her. However, it turned out that Noah was already in front of Hiroto's classroom door, which prompted her to remark that she was a perfect match for Hiroto. Himeji, who was always by Hiroto's side, warned that Hiroto didn't have a partner and wouldn't want to be with Noah. Noah was well aware that Himeji was someone who was quite stiff around her, but that's what made her happy to be able to meet her friends and immediately hugged Himeji. While on their way to classroom 2A, Hiroto asked about Noah having to pick him and Himeji up because the Star 6 members were in the same class. Noah confirmed this, believing they made a compatible pair. Hiroto thought that because they were so well known in the academy, their classmates would know what games they would play, but the reality was different. They couldn't get along because they had barriers between them. The noise from the meeting room was so loud that it could be heard outside where the three of them were standing. Noah, who understood her classmates well, said that they hated each other, but they always spent time together and argued, which made Hiroto lose a bit of hope for winning the game. The meeting began with a promotional video for the inter-district tournament, which contained a few hints about the domination game involving capturing team areas. Shinji, the IMA Student Council president, agreed with Hiroto's opinion, but expressed it in a rather rough manner for a transfer student. Hiroto, aware of his brusque communication style, chose to continue the discussion in more detail. The basic rules of the tournament had been released, and Himeji had already studied them thoroughly. This was a large-scale game in accordance with the Island Academy's operational regulations, with up to 100 players. The game, Area Steal to Reconquer All Lost, abbreviated as AST would last for 5 days, with sessions from 9 o'clock a.m. to 12 o'clock p.m. for the first session, and a second session starting from 2 o'clock p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. for a total of 10 sessions. The location was in District 0, also known as the Special Development District, located at the center of the island. The playing field is divided into 1 million areas with bases scattered in various locations. These bases can be contested, and every 2 bases form a line, while 3 bases or more create a polygon with all areas within it belonging to the team that controls it and the color matching the team's colors. Every hour, the bases release a special ability called a mantra. The game also employs a system known as time freeze, where after team members use a mantra, they cannot take action for a certain period, determined by the movement value of each team member. The AST Rail game has 5 positions, and no 2 team members can occupy the same one. To win the game, a team must either dominate areas or eliminate other teams. If time runs out, the team with the most areas wins. The losing condition for each team member is when a player loses all their life points, resulting in their immediate elimination from the game. Each team member has 5 life points, which are replenished at the end of each period. If all members of one team are eliminated, all the areas they had acquired will be lost, and a team is declared the loser. In the tournament, there will be another game played alongside ASTRAL called NTCG, short for Mulch Trading Card Game, which offers random cards that serve as invitations to ASTRAL. Players who obtain these cards can join a selected team as the 6th member. Himeji explained that there are 3 key factors in the tournament game: areas, player positions, and movement values. Noah, curious about movement values, asked Himeji about them. Himeji explained that players could check their movement values on the latest smartphone application provided. There are 25 levels where a lower movement value is better. Asamiya, seeing Hiroto's level at 3, was impressed because a star 7 wouldn't waste the opportunity. In reality, Kagaya had camouflaged the number, and Hiroto's actual value was 19, which was quite poor to start with. Himeji then outlined the basic plan for the IMI team members. Shinji initiated the discussion with two key strategies within ASTRAL, expanding their area and destroying the opposing teams. However, these movements couldn't be haphazard because it required good synchronization for smooth execution. Then a chart showing the 5 positions and their associated abilities was displayed. Hiroto, who was clearly going to take the commander position, knew it was the best choice to conceal his fake star 7. If he got another position, it could actually jeopardize him during the game. He gave excuses for his slow commander movements if he received vital information thanks to his ability, although it was actually thanks to company's assistance. Asamiya chose to be a warrior because of her reflexes and sharp eyesight, which made her confident in leading against enemies. Na opted to be a spy because her ability to hide and set traps had been proven effective. Himeji and Hiroto had already made their positions clear as protectors and commanders, but Shinji, as the student council president, strongly wanted to be the commander due to his simple mission of absolute victory. Hiroto, who didn't want to lose that position, had no choice but to use his intimidation tactics to convince Shinji to entrust the commander role to him. With the help of Company and Himeji, he believed he could defeat the opposing team. However, Shinji gave him a special condition. If he couldn't defeat the enemy commander by the 3rd day, it would have the option to switch commanders, which could only be done once in the tournament. Hiroto agreed to Shinji's terms and promised to defeat the enemy commander before the specified deadline. At night, as Hiroto was about to sleep, Rita suddenly called him, confused by the appearance of Sayonji Sarasa's 3rd duplicate, which had startled her.